What happens if I turn viral? In this video, we're going to address that.
So, chances are you've made a meta avatar, right? For Facebook, Instagram, maybe even VR. And I'm willing to bet you blew right past those terms of service when you clicked agree. We all do it. Well, today, we're going to go back and actually read the fine print you skipped. Let's find out what you really signed up for.
Here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at the agreement you didn't read. Then, we'll tackle the big one. Who actually owns that little digital you? After that, we'll get into the rules of the road, what happens when things go south, and finally, we'll wrap it all up with a concept that might change how you see your online self, the digital landlord.
All right, let's dive right into Section 1, the fine print. You know, that little agree button you clicked? It's not just a suggestion. It's you entering into a legally binding contract every single time you use their avatar tools. So, what exactly is in that contract? That's the key right there. It's a binding legal agreement. This document, the Meta Avatar's Terms of Service, lays out the entire relationship between you and the company. It's not a guideline. It's the law of their digital land, and you agreed to it. Which brings us to the really juicy question here in Section 2. You know, you spend all this time tweaking your avatar, getting the eyes just right, picking the outfit, making it look like you. So it's yours, isn't it? It's gotta be. Well, before we answer that, we need to get on the same page with the lingo Meta users. Everything you create, your avatar's face, the clothes, any accessories, it's all bundled together under one legal term, generated content. Just tuck that phrase away for a second, because it's about to become really, really important. I mean, it seems like common sense. You made it. It looks like you. You should own it. That's the natural assumption anyone would make. But this is where things take a sharp turn. And there it is, the bombshell, pulled straight from their terms. You hereby assign to Meta all such right, title, and interest. Now, in plain English, assign means you are legally and permanently giving it all away. So let's just be crystal clear about this. You do not own your avatar. Meta does. The second you clicked agree, you transferred full ownership of your digital self and everything you create for it directly to Meta. It's a complete handover of all your rights. So what do you get? Well, you get a license, and a pretty flimsy one at that. The best way to think about it is like this. Meta owns the house, and they're just letting you rent a room. It's a limited, revocable license, which is legal speak for we can kick you out and take it back whenever we want, for pretty much any reason. Okay, so if you're basically just renting your own face, what are the landlord's rules? That takes us to Section 3, what you are and are not allowed to do with the avatar that Meta owns. Now this is where it gets interesting. By default, you can only use your avatar for personal stuff. No making money off it, period. There is an exception for limited commercial use, but wow, it comes with a lot of strings attached. You have to follow strict government advertising rules, and get this, you can't do anything that might damage Meta's reputation, which sounds pretty subjective, doesn't it? And this right here really shows you who's in charge. Whether you're using it for fun or trying to make a buck, Meta holds all the cards. They can pull your license, suspend you, or just terminate your access to your digital self at any time, for any reason, and they don't even have to tell you it's coming. So, what happens if things go south? Let's say Meta deletes your avatar and you think it's totally unfair. What can you actually do about it? That's what we're covering in Section 4. Your options are, well, they're not what you'd expect. You see this? It's in all caps for a reason. By agreeing to the terms, you have given up your right to sue Meta in a real court. No jury trial for you, and you can't team up with other people in a class action lawsuit. Any problem you have has to be handled one-on-one through a private process called arbitration. And the process for starting a dispute feels like a time warp. First, you have to literally mail a physical letter, a notice of dispute, to their headquarters. Snail mail. Then you sit and wait for 30 days to see if they feel like fixing it informally. Only after all that can you even begin the official arbitration process. Okay, so let's say you go through all that hassle and you actually win. What's the big payout? What's the most Meta will be on the hook for? $100. That's it. Their total liability is capped at the greater of $100 or whatever you paid them in the last year, which for most of us is $0. So yeah, $100.
So let's bring this all home in our final section and put all these pieces together. The relationship you have with your avatar isn't one of a creator. The best way to understand it really is to think of yourself as a tenant, and Meta is your very, very powerful digital landlord.
So let's just quickly recap the main takeaways from the terms you agreed to. Number 1, you don't own your avatar, Meta does. Number 2, you're just renting it with a license they can snatch back at any moment. 3, that rental comes with a strict set of rules. 4, you've waived your right to take them to court. And finally, 5, even if you win a fight against them, the most you'll probably get is $100.
And that leaves us with a much bigger, kind of philosophical question to chew on. As we spend more and more of our lives in these digital spaces, building these online identities, what does it mean when the very image of ourselves isn't actually ours? When our virtual self is just a rental? It's definitely something to think about the next time you click agree.